So, what is web development? Yeah, web development is basically developing websites. Any website that you see in internet, like any website, it is coded by people like us. We code this website, and then this website is available for us to view. So for web development, there are two stacks actually. Web development is classified into two basically. One is front end development and back end development. So yeah, as I told, my main focus is on front end development. So what is front end? So yeah, I'll present my screen. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So what are you seeing on your computer screen? So you have something like you have blocks depicting attendees, and you have something called meeting details, people, chat, the list of people. So what front end is actually is designing these things that you see. So whatever you see on a website is designed by UI UX developers and is coded by front end developers. So front end we have various technology stacks like HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So we use HTML, CSS and JavaScript to code these websites, and then this is available for people to see. And in front end, like advanced front end can be done using various frameworks like React, Angular. You might have heard of these, but once you have completed learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, do go try out React or Angular. Like it makes your work more simple. So yeah, you can build a complete website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So then what is backend development? What is the need of backend development then if you can build your website using front end only? So yeah, whatever you do in your front end is visible to the user. Like whatever I do here, someone else can access it. Like if I code something, if I write something, if I put in something, it is visible to someone else also who is using the website. So imagine that you're logging in. So you have to give your username and password. So if someone else can see your password, it is not fair, right? So then why should we call it a password then? It's not fair, right? So the password should actually be hidden from the users. That is, the password should not be visible to the other users who are using it. So for that, data like password, user, login, sign up, registration, everything, these are stored in tables or databases. So we have tables where we store data like username, password, confirm password, etc. Like whatever you fill in, we store it in a table like format. So what backend does is backend fetches the data from the table and gives it to the front end, and front end displays the data. So that a person who's logging in, he inputs the password, and the password is not actually available on the website. The password is directly getting stored in the database. So for backend, we have technologies like Node.js, Django, and all. So like once you start with web development is really easy. Actually, it's one of the most easy tech stacks that I've ever seen. Like I've experimented with like various tech stacks, and I found that web development is one of the most simplest tech stack like you can learn. So yeah, so once you start with web development, start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then move on to like frameworks in front end like React or Angular, move on to back end development using Node or Django, whatever you find comfortable. So yeah, for these 3 days, we'll be learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So yeah, as told, we'll be learning HTML today. Yeah. So how many of you are comfortable with GitHub? Like how many of you know GitHub? Like, is there anybody who doesn't know about GitHub? Like we'll be needing GitHub like in the last day. So if you don't know GitHub, like I can take a separate session or something. If anybody doesn't know GitHub, please do message in the chat box. And yeah, this is gonna be a completely informal session, okay? Like I am also a college student. I'm not a I'm not a teacher or something. I'm just a college student like you all. Like I'm in third year. I don't know if like someone else in this gang is elder to me. Yeah, so feel free to message or feel free to unmute yourself. This is gonna be a completely informal session. Yeah, so if anybody doesn't know GitHub, please do inform in the chat box. Like if you want, I can take a separate session for GitHub. Yeah, so um, after today's class, we'll take up a list of people who don't know GitHub, and I'll just give a brief introduction to GitHub to these. Okay. After the session, I'll take up the names. So yeah, for web development today, I'll be starting with HTML. I hope you all know what a code editor is. Code editor is something that where we type in our code. And the code editor that I use is VS Code, and I recommend you all to install VS Code in your system. Yeah, I'll show. Visual Studio Code or VS Code? Visual Studio Code. So this is the code editor that I personally use. Like you have various other code editors like Sublime and all. I haven't used that. Like I prefer VS Code because it has a lot of extensions that are really helpful. So you can go download VS Code from this link if you have not downloaded it. Yeah, it is found here. I'll just put the link in the chat box. And if you want, I can put the link in the group afterwards, in the WhatsApp group afterwards. So go download Visual Studio Code from this website. So yeah, this is the code editor that I use. So yeah, let me create a folder somewhere. Local disk D. Oh wait, I'll just create a folder somewhere. Local disk G. Yeah. No folder name web weekend. Yeah. So once you have downloaded your VS Code, open your VS Code. Yeah, it'll take a little time to load. My system is really slow actually. It's loading 1 minute. Yeah, so fresh VS Code window will be looking like this. So what you have to do is you have to open the folder that you've created. So I've created a folder called Web Weekend, and I advise you not to create the folder in local disk C because it's not advisable to do things in local disk C because you have your computer files there. So accidentally, if you delete something, it'll be a great mess. So I advise you to create the folder in some other folder other than local disk C. Yeah, so Web Weekend. Yeah, this is what VS Code looks like. So for the people who have not seen VS Code, this is the interface. And I'll just open it. Yeah. This is like the window which shows what all folders are open. So at present, I have Web Weekend. I have nothing inside the folder. It's an empty folder. So this shows you what all folders you have, what all files you have. If you have some open editors or something, like you have this welcome, it'll show there. And this is something called search, like if you want to search something in VS Code. Yeah. This is for GitHub. Like if more than like one people are working on a project, you have to use this. Like this is not a beginner thing. And yeah, this is for running. If you are using VS Code for Python and all, you will have to run programs, right? So you will have to use this for running the programs. Yeah, this is what we need right now. After installing VS Code, I like you to install two extensions. Prettier. The first one is Prettier. Yeah, Prettier. I've already installed it. If you have not installed, there'll be a green button here. Please do install. Like this is one of the if you I'll show this what Prettier is later on. Like when you start coding, it's a very very useful thing. Prettier is something like if you mess up with your code, if your code is not actually good to see, Prettier will make it really pretty. Like it'll align everything. It'll make the code look prettier. So that's what Prettier does. And I also want you to install another extension, Open in Browser. Yeah. So this Open in Browser, you have to see, like you are building a website, right? So you have to see a website somewhere. So this extension helps you to open your HTML file in a like in a web browser. So after installing your VS Code, just go to extensions and download these two. I'll also put it in the chat box, like these two extensions. Click here and open in browser. I'll try to put it in the group also after the class. Yeah. So we have our VS Code all set for programming. Yeah, so let's see our folder. We have a web weekend folder, but we don't have anything like any file or something. So yeah, I'll create a file. So for first, I told that we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So all the HTML files are named something like name.html, some name.html, like nandana.html, something.html. So yeah, I'll create index.html. So index.html is kind of a naming convention. Like if you have just one HTML file, we'll have to name like we name it index.html. It's like a default practice. If you want to host it on GitHub and all, do name it like index.html. If you have a single index dot like a single HTML file, try to name it index.html. You can also put any other name like nandana.html, nami.html. Any .html file is okay. But yeah, it's a convention that's followed. It's better to name it like index.html. Yeah, so let's start with HTML. So what is HTML? HTML is the full form is hypertext markup language, I think. Yeah. It helps us to code web pages. Like we write code in HTML and we'll be able to see it on the website. So yeah, let's start. So this is a blank HTML file that I've created. So from where did I create that? So from the web, we have new file, new folder, everything. So you can create a new file using this. And I named it just index.html, random name. Yeah. So, so let's start. So for the first thing, what I do is like I just typed in an exclamation mark. And after typing in an exclamation mark, I got a like, what do you say? A pop-up, yeah, a pop-up. And in this, I'll just click the first one. Yeah. Ta-da. You got your HTML. This is the base of any HTML file that you're gonna build. See that I have not written any code. I didn't write anything. I just typed in like an exclamatory mark, and from the pop-up, I just chose the exclamatory mark. And yeah, this is the base of this is the body of any HTML file that you're gonna write. This is like a complete syntax of any HTML file. So I don't know if this work in other editors. You have this feature in VS Code for sure. So yeah, after in your HTML file, just type in an exclamatory mark and choose the exclamatory mark from the pop-up. You'll get this. So what are these? These are actually, so in HTML, we write things in tags. So what are tags? Tags are something that begin in an angle bracket and also end in an angle bracket. So like Nandana. Yeah, see, this is a tag called Nandana. Like I've named it Nandana. You can name it anything. Like you have many predefined tags. I'll just tell you what are the tags that we use. I'll tell you later what. So what a tag means is something that starts in an angle bracket and ends in an angle bracket. So for every tag, there is a closing tag also. The closing tag is pretty the same thing apart from the fact that we have a backslash here. So what is a tag? Something is slash starts J, yeah, backslash J. So this is a basic structure of a tag. That is, we'll have an opening tag and we'll have a closing tag. Most of the tags have closing tags. Like there are some exceptions. Like some tags don't have closing tags. Like if that will be automatically predicted by VS Code really. Like if there is a closing tag, then the VS Code gives us the closing tag. And if there is no closing tag for that particular thing, then it will not give. So yeah, let's see the first tag, the very first line. Doc type HTML. So this does not have a closing tag basically. It is just telling the document like the document type. What is this document type? The document type is HTML. Like we're gonna write HTML code inside this. We're just indicating this like this is the HTML document. Just saying to the browser or something, yeah. And now from line number 2 begins our real code. This was kind of a comment for the website. From line number 2, here is our real code. Yeah, here starts our HTML tag. The HTML tag marks the beginning of the HTML document. Yeah, the HTML tag begins here and closes here. See, 11th line I'm closing it, second line I'm opening it. And lang is equal to English, like it's by default the language that we are going to use is English. So the VS Code gives us default language English. It's something that you give inside a tag. This thing is called an attribute. So this is a default attribute. See, I have not typed anything. It's something that I got by default. Okay. Yeah. So by default, the language is English. So I've started the HTML code. The HTML code is actually divided into two, the head and the body. So what is head? So you can see your head tag here. Yeah, it starts in line number 3 and ends in line number 7. So what is head tag? Head tag is something that you use to communicate with the server. Like whatever you type inside your head tag won't be visible on the website. But the thing is that the server, the browser will understand. Like okay, fine. So like in the head tag, we use something called a meta tag. This meta tag is also used to say something to the browser. So yeah, here this is something that comes by default. Okay, meta character set is UTF-8. Like it is, I think it is the alphabet thing. Like we are gonna write as alphabet, alphanumeric characters. Yeah, and this is something like the width of the device, everything is by default and all. We're just setting everything to default. So meta tags are used to communicate or say something to the browser. So we don't need to define anything in meta tag. We just need to know that meta tags are something that tells the browser like something here character set or name or something. Yeah. Title. What is title? Where is my browser? Yeah. So here you see something like Visual Studio Code, and here you have Meet, HGZ, MA, something, something, something. Yeah, this is called the title. So whatever you see here, not on the web page. So this is going to be your web page thing. Whatever you see here, this is called the title. So let me give the title to be Web Weekend. Web Weekend. Yeah, I have given the title to be Web Weekend. Okay. And now we have closed the head tag. So what is head tag? Head tag is used to communicate with the browser only. Like we don't see anything inside our website. It just tells something to the browser, like character set is this, device is this, that, and all. We don't need to deal with head tag and all. So where should we write our code? What all code that we write, it will always come under the body tag. Body tag is something like inside what we write our tags. Like we write everything. Whatever we write under the body tag comes into the website. So yeah, let's start. So do you have any doubt till now as of now? Like anything, like anything, any doubt? Feel free to ask, okay? Like, yeah, don't consider me as a teacher. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So now we're gonna start with the real HTML coding part right now. So the first tag that I'm gonna like we use is for headings. Yeah. So in websites we see headings. So how does these headings come? So for headings we have tags ranging from H1 to H6. H1 is heading one, like it'll be very big. H1 is gonna be really big. I'll write something. Heading one. So what did I do? I opened the H1 tag. The closing tag came by default. Inside the tag, I wrote heading one. So yeah, I am writing the code and I need to see the code, right? I'm writing and writing, so I must see the code and then only I'll know if like, oh, I'm doing this correct. So for that, you have to go to your index.html, right click, and here you'll have open in the browsers. Yeah, open in browser, and I'll choose Google Chrome. This came because I've installed an extension. I've installed an extension open in browser. So in using open in browser, you can open in any browser. I've opened in Google Chrome. You can open in Edge or Mozilla or Safari or anything. Yeah. So what do you have right now? You have your heading one. So this seems like a heading, right? A big heading, a comparatively big heading. Yeah, seems cool. So yeah, I don't want this much big heading. I want a slightly small heading. So we have our H2 tag. H2 is a little bit smaller heading. It's all matter of size, okay? Yeah, where is my website? Yeah. So this is also heading. It's kind of a bold and text only, but it's smaller in size, a little bit reduced size. So we have from H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. We have six kind of headings. H6 is going to be really small, like very small. I'll show you. It's really tiny. Like I don't use this often. Like it's really tiny. So in case you want to write a heading that's so tiny, you can use this. There is something here. It's really tiny. Yeah. So this is called the heading tag. You have headings ranging from H1 to H6 depending on the size. H1 is the biggest, H6 is the smallest. Yeah, so you have to write text also, right, inside your web page. I'll remove the H6, okay? I don't like H6. So you have to write text inside your HTML document. Like you have to see some text in your website if you have to write some paragraph or something. Yeah, for paragraphs, we have paragraph tag, that is P tag. Inside the P tag or the paragraph tag, we can write paragraphs. I am Nandana. I am studying ACT. Yeah, you can write anything. Like it's kind of like a paragraph. You can write anything, a big paragraph, a small paragraph, depending upon the size. Let's see how it comes. Yeah, so this is not a bolden text. It's a normal text that you see in any website. Yeah, so this everything is like normal paragraph tags only. These things. Yeah. So whatever you see is like normal paragraph tag. It's used to give the normal text in your website. So now we've seen headings, paragraphs. And now the next thing, we have come to see headings, paragraphs. Next thing I want to show is like bulletin points. Like what if you have to show some bulletin points? So bulletin points can be like two types. It can be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it can be just dot, 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 dot. Yeah, so there are two types. One is ordered list. Ordered is 1, 2, 3, 4 or A, B, C, D. Ordered. Unordered is like there is no order. It's like bulletin points only. Dot dot black black dots. We'll see ordered first. So what was that? Ordered list. Ordered list short form OL. I'll put all the tags in the group. Okay, like all the tag names in the group. You can refer afterwards when you do. So after opening OL, so OL is like telling the browser you have an ordered list coming up. So inside the ordered list, what are the things that you have to list? Ordered list, okay, fine. I have to list things, right? So for each thing, I'll be having a list item. So first thing I wanna say is apple, apple, XLI tag, orange, next LI tag, banana. Yeah. So what I have done is I have an ordered list. Ordered list is like 1, 2, 3 or something. Yeah. And for each one, two, three, I'm giving an LI tag. So in each LI tag, I'm giving like the things that should be shown. Let's see our ordered list. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3 banana. It's like an intended a petty OL list. Cool. What if like I didn't like this 1, 2, 3? I want it to be ABC. So you have something called attributes. It's type attribute. For type, you have 1, 2, 3, capital ABC, small ABC, Roman numeral, and like one small I, small 2I. Like yeah, I'll go for small a. So what did I do? Inside the OL tag, I gave something called attribute. The attribute name is type. Type equal to A. Yeah. So let me refresh. Yeah, so it changed. Small a, small b, small c. So instead of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're saying small b, small c. So you have different things there, like capital A, capital B. Yeah, you can try those two. So yeah, after this, I'll go for unordered list. Like I don't need this A, B, C and all. I just need that black bulletin points. What will I do? I'll go for unordered list. Unordered list short form UL. And yeah, similarly, I'll go for LI. Chocolate, vanilla, LI, vanilla, spelling LI pista. Yeah. So inside the UL tag, instead of OL, I give UL, indicating that this is going to be an unordered list. And now let's see what happened. Just I changed the OL to UL. Yeah. See, now you have some dot, dot, dot kind of things. Yeah, so this is all fine. Like you now know how to put text into your website. This kind of your website. You have text, you have headings, you have bulletins, you have like paragraphs, everything. And now let's imagine that you have to take something from the user. Like you have to take an input from the user. Imagine a login form. You have to take the username from the user, right? So for that you have input tag. Input, what kind of input? That is type. Type text and yeah, placeholder. Oh, wait, one second. Inside the input tag, you'll give the type. The type is yeah, I'll give text as the type, and let's see what comes up. Yeah, so you have an input tag. Input tag is used to take the input from the user, and I've just given the type to be text because I want to take text from the user. Username is gonna be text, so I just gave text as type. Yeah, so this is the input tag, but do you see something like what will the user know? Like, I don't know what to type in there, like whether it's username, whether it's password, I don't know. So for that, we have something called placeholder. This doesn't look good, right? Like if you have some blanks like this, some random blanks, user won't know what to give it. So yeah, we have something called a placeholder. Placeholder, and I'll give username. So what placeholder? Placeholder is another attribute of input tag, and let's see what placeholder username does. Yeah, so you can see a blurred username inside, right? So when I type in, it goes off. When it's blank, it's username. So when some user sees this, he'll be like, oh, I have to type in my username here, and then he types it. So this is the input tag. So input tag is used to take in input from the user. Um, and also, like we have various kinds of input tag. I'll show one another type of input tag. Type. You have see for type. You have something like see. You have the button, checkbox, color, date, date time, file, hidden, month, number, password. I'll go for password right now. So you have various kinds of attributes for type, like as choices for type. So when you are trying, you can try any number of things. Like you have a lot of things under type. Password. It's the same input tag. I have just changed the type from text to password and the placeholder to password. So let's see what my website is gonna look like. Yeah, so you have username, so the user comes in and writes the username, password. Yeah, so the password is now dot 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 dot. I'll show one more like the checkbox or something. Like you have a large variety of things. I'll go for checkbox. So what is a checkbox? Checkbox is like that tick thing. Yeah, this thing. So you can use these things to implement these kind of functionalities in your website. And yeah, the user types in the username, types in the password. So we need a button to submit, right? Yeah. Now we're going to see the button tag. I'll just remove this checkbox because it's unnecessary. So for submitting the thing, we need a button tag. Button. So what should be written inside the button? I write submit. So this is going to be a submit. Yes, so I have one input tag for username, one input tag for password, and I have a button to submit. Let's see. Yeah, so the user write the username here, password here, and use this button to submit. Yeah, so this is kind of a form kind of a thing. Like every login form is like this. Apart from the fact that it is not good to see, I know this is very bad to see. We'll format this using CSS. This is not good to see, I admit. But yeah. So any doubt as of now, like any doubt as of now, any tags or something? If you have any doubts, feel free. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so this is the next thing. We'll deal with some kind of a formatting, some kind like we'll use CSS, but yeah, using HTML we'll kind of format something. I'll just write a paragraph tag and write Sandhana Sweet. It's just a plain paragraph tag, okay? Nothing else. Yeah, Nandana Sriraj. I want this to be bold. I don't want this to be a heading, but I just want this thing to be a little bit bold. So for bold, I have a bold tag, that is B tag. So what I do is I'll just take this paragraph tag, this whole thing, and I'll put it inside the B tag. Let's see. Yeah, so it's bold. It's not a heading, but it's a bold text. Cool. I want it to be a little bit inclined, like as in italics. I hope you know what italics is, like slightly bent thing. Yeah. So for italics, the short form is I, and I just place the paragraph tag inside the italics I thing, and it'll be a little bit slanted text. Yeah, a little bit good to see. And what if I want to underline, like it's a heading or something? Yeah. If I want to underline, I use the U tag, the same thing. Yeah, so this is kind of a text formatting that we have in HTML. Yeah, we do have other CSS to make it more beautiful, but we can use HTML for this small things. Yeah, and the next thing is table. So in websites, you will see tables, right? So how do you build tables? So for tables, we have a table tag here for us. Table tag is used to create tables. So the opening of table tag tells the browser that see, like a table is coming up. So you have to divide it into rows and columns, everything. So yeah, for what all things does a table actually have? A table has rows, a table has columns. And in the first row, it's gonna be headings, right? The first row has headings, the table headings. And after that, each row is gonna have the data of the table. And we'll be having many rows. So first I'll open the table row. TR is a tag which indicates that yeah, a new row has started. So first row. So this is the first tag, TR tag in the table, right? So this is going to be the first row. So instead of first row, we have table headings, right? The headings to the tables. So table headings, we have TH tag. And headings be like boys. First heading is boys. Girls. Yeah, so you have two columns. So you have one row with two columns. One column boys, one column girls. And let's give some data into that. For data, here we have used table heading. For data, we use TD, table data. And then a boy is right. Sriraj. And then yeah. So see what I've done, I've opened a table tag so that the browser knows, yeah, a table is coming up. So for each TR tag, the browser will create new rows. Inside the row, first row is table heading, boys, second column table heading, girls. And yeah, at the next row, I'm giving the data. For the first row, boys, I'm giving Sriraj. Second row, I'm giving Nandan. I'll just copy paste it and paste it again so that we'll have multiple rows. So we have three rows. The first row is headings. Next two rows is data. Let's see. Yeah, so you have something, a table. I know we don't have borders. We'll give the borders using CSS. We style everything using CSS. Using HTML alone won't make your website look good. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll style this using CSS tomorrow. Yeah, so after that, so now we are seeing tables. Another important thing that we have is images. Like what makes your website very pretty or very good? It's the images, everything, right? So yeah, how to use images. So for images, we have something called an image tag, IMG. And let's take an image from internet. Strawberry. Strawberry. Yeah, so I've just taken the address of the image, this image, random image from internet. Yeah. So I've got the address of the image. So I have the IMG tag. IMG stands for image. And I have to get the source of the image. Like where should the HTML get the image from? The source src is equal to what I've got from the internet. Like I've just copied the text from internet that that belonged to that photo. I've just copied the link address. And suppose like if my net is slow, suppose if my net connection broke or something happened, and if this image fails to load, the user must know, right, what was there. For that, we give an alternate text. What was that? Strawberry. Yeah. So for every image tag, an SRC and alt is compulsory. Like these two tags are mandatory. You have to give the alternate tag, the alternate text, and also you have to give the address SRC. So let's see our strawberry in the website. Yeah, yeah, it's very big. It's very big. We can make this small using CSS, but yeah. So this is the image. This image, yeah. But the image came this very big actually. But yeah, we got the image. We can make it small using CSS. We'll try that tomorrow. And yeah, we got the image from internet. But suppose I want to take the image not from internet. I want something from my folder local disk. So let me check if I have a picture. This PC pictures. Hmm. Um, yeah, I'll take this doctor image. Wait. Yeah, so I don't have a good image right now. So for time being, I'm taking this doctor. Nah, I'll take this maths, physics, chemistry image. Yeah, I'll just drag this image. I'll just drop it into the folder. Drag and drop, simple drag and drop. Either you can just copy, paste it into the folder. I'm just doing drag and drop. Yeah, so inside the web beacons, I'm having this picture a1s1.png. And I want this picture, not a picture from the internet. I want this picture. And I'm commenting this, okay? Because it's very big. It makes my website look very big. Yeah. So the next image from I want this a1s1.png in my website. Some picture from my local system, some random picture. So for that SRC, I'll give inside the SRC, I'll be giving a1s1.png. If it alternate text, I'll give random pic from my PC in case it fails to load. So what did I do? I gave the image tag, the SRC as this a1s1.png, and this alternate text as random. And let's refresh. Yeah, so you have the image. So this is the image, a1s1.png, the maths, physics, chemistry. Yeah. So this is the image that I had in the PC. I just took this. And I'll just show you what if the image path is broken. What if I get a1s.png? There's no such image, right? Like there is no such image, then see, the alternate text will come, random pic from my PC. So if you give something that path does not exist or something, you will see the alternate text, else you will see the image. Yeah. So now we have seen the image tag. And now the next important tag, like we'll do something. What if I have to give a caption for that? Like I have to give I have this image, but I want to tell the user that like this image is a random picture from my PC. Like not alternate text, I want to show it to the user. Like you for tables and all, you see underneath like table number 2, table number 3. Like you have that figure caption, right? So for figure caption, we have a tag called figure. So inside the figure tag, we'll just cut and paste this image. So and we have the image, and then we'll give the fig caption. Like what caption do I have to give? I'll give that random image. So what did I do? I enclosed the image inside a figure tag, and I give the caption inside fig caption tag. So this shows that I'll just get, let's see. See, I am getting the image and the caption. Like it's kind of a caption, like in internet, every image kind of has a caption, a small caption, like what it is. It just shows. Yeah, and the next important tag is a tag. a tag or anchor tag. Like what if I want to link my website to some external website? Um, I'll show my GitHub only. Or yeah. Yeah, so this is a website that I made, and on clicking something, some text or something, I want to go to my GitHub. Like from this website, on clicking something, I have to go to my GitHub. So for that, we use anchor tag. Anchor tag is something like for redirecting to some other web pages. And it's like href. So anchor tag comes with an attribute href. So inside href, I'm going to give the link, like the https:// and inside the anchor tag, I'm going to give the text. Click here to see my GitHub. Yeah, so I have the anchor tag. Inside the href, I'm giving the link of my GitHub, and I'm saying like click here to see my GitHub. Yeah, see, it's kind of a violet color linkish thing. I'll just click it. Yeah, it goes to my web page. So this is one of the, like, image tag and anchor tag is something that you use very commonly. It's like a very common thing. And the next thing, like, you are not going to use this very often, but it's good to know. You're not going to use this very often, but yeah, it's good to know that. The next tag is code tag. Inside the code tag, I'm going to give some paragraph tags like include HTML, paragraph tag, include CSS. So what is code tag? Like I've just included two paragraph tags inside a code tag. Let's see what this code tags look like. Yeah. So do you see any difference like from this text and this text? This seems like a code, right? Like the code that you see in web pages, #include iostream.h, #include conio.h or something. This seems like a code. So if you have to include some code in your website, like you have to show the user some kind of a code, you can go for this. Like this stands out from the rest of the text. Like it makes it feel like it's a code. It's a code. Yeah. So it's called a code tag. And another tag, this is also a less commonly used code tag that is called block quote. Block quote is like if you have a quote, like if you want to say something, a quote-ish quote thing, like today is the best day. A quote, a random quote. So you want it to be like a little bit aligned, a little bit pushed forward kind of a thing. You can go for this. Like this is used to give a quote. If your website has a quote, you can go for this. Yeah. Today is the best day. Like this is paragraph tag only, but it's kind of it is the left margin, the margin from the left side. It's a little bit more, and yeah, this is kind of like it makes you feel like it's something aligned to the left. It's something different. So it'll give you a quote, the kind of a quote feeling. Yeah, so these are the basic tags that you see in HTML, and one of the tag, and another, this is like one of the most important tags that we use. That's the div tag. But div tag is used for giving CSS. So if I write something now, like I'll give a paragraph tag inside this, but like you won't feel any difference right now. You won't understand the difference of div tag right now. Like it's simple. But yeah, we use div tag for linking CSS, for declaring classes. So for that, I'll show div tag tomorrow. You don't need to worry about div tag today because it's dealing with CSS. You have to, like, you use div tag for your CSS things. So that is about HTML, the most common tags that we use. So any doubt about any tag that you've used, any tag about setting up, any doubt about the whole thing, the whole session? Like we have come to the end of the HTML thing. So if you have any doubt, yeah. So if you don't have code, don't download VS Code. If you're using Sublime, it's okay. I use VS Code. I personally recommend VS Code because it has. Yeah, I show Prettier. What actually Prettier is. So see, like if I write some code, H1, and I write something here, a paragraph tag, and like I mess up with the syntax. H1. You see, these three lines, it's not at all aligned, it's completely out of order. So what I do is I'll right click, and from the right click menu, I'll choose format document with. Since I've installed Prettier, I'll get Prettier here. Yeah. So it's these there are three lines that were aligned, like I made it badly aligned. So these are the three lines, it got perfectly aligned. And the code now looks pretty, right? If you have something that's not good to see, then the person's like you will write the code, but your code will be reviewed by someone else if you're working in a company, or like if you do an internship or if you do a project and all. The code has to be neat. So you have to use this Prettier. It makes your code looks very pretty. Like as in it aligns everything. So your code will be neat. Can you please share the recorded session? Uh, I think the session is being recorded. I think it will be shared to you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so if you have any kind of doubts, like if you have any doubts when you start doing, you can just contact me. Like I'm there. Is the alt mandatory? Is the alt is mandatory for a drag and drop? Because yeah, for every image tag, alt is mandatory. Like it'll work without alt. I'll see you. I'll show you. Yeah. So for where is the image tag? Yeah. So what happens if I remove this? I just removed it. I removed it and it worked fine, right? There's no compulsion. Like it's not kind of this thing like it won't work without an alt tag. But the thing is, if some kind of an error occurs, like if some kind of like if the image is not available, then the user might get confused if you don't have an alt. So it is always advised to have an alt tag. It's not a kind of a like it'll not give an error. It won't be an error actually. It is kind of an advice from my side. Yeah. You have to use the alt tag.